James Harden has been playing very well since his arrival to the Brooklyn Nets. This season, he's averaging 26 points, 8 rebounds, and 11 assists, along with 1.3 steals a game on 46, 36, 86 efficiency. And the Nets are currently the second seed in the East with a 32-15 record. And both the Nets and James Harden are playing very well. But to my surprise, James Harden has been getting some MVP talk. So in this video, I'm going to be going over 5 reasons why James Harden shouldn't win MVP. Okay, reason number 1, the Houston situation. Harden has played 8 games for the Houston Rockets this season. And in those games, which account for over 10% of this shortened 72-game season, he was not very good. He basically quit on the Rockets. He broke the pandemic protocols by partying at strip clubs while he should have been in training camp. He was fat and out of shape and was not committed to the team. There's clips of him making terrible passes to John Wall. He wasn't playing defense. He wasn't showing up for practice. He was putting his teammates and his coach in just not a fair situation. He was called out by guys like Cousins and Wall for wanting to jump off the ship and not being committed, and it was clear he wasn't committed to playing well and didn't really care. And I think that should be held against him in terms of MVP conversations. And here's another thing: no NBA player has ever been traded mid-season then gone on to win the MVP. So he would be the first, and it's not like it was an amicable departure. The Rockets were in a bad position, and they were forced to trade him for a package that has turned out to be not great. So that's reason number 1. The whole Houston situation, how he was basically a negative and hurt his original team. That's not being very valuable to the Rockets, to me. Okay, reason number 2, he's playing on a super team. To go along with this, he's not the best player on the team when Kevin Durant is healthy. In my opinion, I think most people would agree with me. Kevin Durant is the best player on the Brooklyn Nets. With that being said, he has not played many games with James Harden, but Harden still has Kyrie Irving, along with a great supporting cast, including former All-Stars like Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, and LaMarcus Aldridge, alongside really good role players in Joe Harris and Bruce Brown and Nick Claxton and Jeff Green. So the Brooklyn Nets are a super team, a team with 3 all-star players, James Harden included. Even though Kevin Durant's been hurt, he still had Kyrie Irving. So it's not like if you took Harden off the Nets, they wouldn't be a good team. They would still be one of the best teams in the NBA. And I think that should be held against them, like it was for Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. Neither Curry nor KD won MVP while playing together in Golden State. They also teamed up in a fashion that people didn't like, very similar to Harden and KD. And the same thing goes for LeBron and Kyrie. If you're saying that, well, Kevin Durant's been injured, well, he's also had Kyrie Irving, and LeBron didn't win MVP while playing with Kyrie Irving. So it's not like, even with Kevin Durant injured, he still had really, really good help. And the last time a player has really won while playing on a super team was LeBron with the Heat, but LeBron was clearly the best player on that team. Harden is not clearly the best player on the Brooklyn Nets. So I think that is a reason why he shouldn't really be considered to win the MVP. Okay, the third thing is defense. And first thing, Harden has been better on defense in Brooklyn, but he's still an average defensive player, and he's not providing any value on that side of the court. And the Nets aren't great defensively either. And, if you look at the past 2 MVPs, which have been Giannis, he's been playing at Defensive Player of the Year level and has been producing really well on both ends of the court. Whereas Harden, he's only really providing value to his team offensively and not defensively, where you could argue that they need it more. The Nets aren't great defensively, and Harden is a part of that. So I don't think, when you look at other candidates like Giannis, Embiid, and LeBron, who are doing it on both ends of the floor, playing well on both the offensive and the defensive end, and Harden just simply isn't doing that. And defense is half the game, and it's also very important when looking for an MVP. It's part of the reason why Giannis has won the last two, and James Harden just isn't a valuable player on the defensive end, unlike some of the competitors for MVP. So that's my third reason. Okay, the fourth reason is he's playing in the Eastern Conference. Okay, now this is a lesser factor. I'm gonna be honest, I'm reaching a tiny bit with this one. But it's still, it's still just a little thing, where this argument has been held against LeBron for years. So, sure, that's why I'm bringing it up. Everyone's saying LeBron can't win MVP in the East. I never 100% bought it, but I'm just gonna say, like, it's easier to put up the numbers that Harden has been against teams like the Pistons than against teams like the Spurs. That's all I'm really gonna say. He's playing in the weaker conference, so that's sort of the argument there. And then also, the Nets aren't currently the best team in the conference. That would be the Sixers, who are even without Joel Embiid, are still doing really, really well. They're currently the number one seed. The Nets are half a game back, so it's not that big a gap, but the Nets aren't even the best team in the weaker conference. So that's my fourth reason. And then here's my fifth reason. The MVP plays in Denver. And that would be, of course, Nikola Jokic, who is just having a great season. And I think he's going to win the MVP, and I think he should win the MVP with LeBron and Embiid injured. So, Jokic this season, 27 points, 11 rebounds, 8.5 assists, 1.5 steals on 57, 43, 87 splits. So almost, he's 3 free throw percentage points off of shooting 50, 40, 90. And he's shooting 55, 42, 87 splits. That's just insane. That's a 65% true shooting. And like 60% is like the gold standard. He's 5% over that in terms of true shooting. One of the most efficient players in the NBA. He's played every game. He's given effort in every game. So, no game slacking. Played every game, I think. And he's clearly the best player on the Nuggets. There's a graph where Jokic pretty much leads the Nuggets in every possible statistical category. He does it all for real. Grabbing rebounds, playmaking, scoring. So I think Jokic should be the MVP. Here are some advanced stats he leads the NBA in. I'm not a huge advanced stats guy, but this is just sort of to back up my point. He leads the NBA in player efficiency rating with 32. Anything over 30 is just elite. He leads the NBA in win shares. He also leads the NBA in win shares per 48. He leads the NBA in box plus minus, and he leads the NBA in value over replacement players. So almost all of the advanced stats say Jokic is the MVP. The raw stats say it too. The efficiency, the fact that Denver are a really good team despite suboptimal performances this season from guys like Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr., as well as losing players like Miles Plumlee and Jeremy Grant. But Jokic has kept them being one of the best teams in the NBA. And he's also one of the best defenders. No, he's not one of the best defenders in the NBA. He's one of the best clutch players in the NBA. He's one of those guys where last couple minutes, you want him taking the last shot. He can get a shot off of over almost anybody. He has that high release. He has the fadeaways. He has the playmaking. He really does it all for the Nuggets. He also gets steals defensively. He's not a great defender, but I'd say he's at least average. Probably a bit better than Harden on that end. So I think Jokic should be the MVP. And then apart from Jokic, I think Damian Lillard and Giannis also have better cases. With Dame carrying a roster that has been more depleted by injury than almost any other team, missing McCollum and Nurkic for the majority of the season. And then also Giannis, I also don't think Giannis can really win it just because, it's hard to three-peat when you haven't really proven it in the playoffs in terms of winning a ring, but his stats are great. And then of course he has that two-way impact, being one of the best defensive players in the NBA. But I think Jokic should win the MVP, and those are my 5 reasons why I don't think Harden can win the MVP. The Houston situation, playing on a super team, his defense, the fact that he's in the weaker conference, and then of course Jokic having a great season. But that's the end of this video. That's the end of this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to this channel for more NBA content, and I'll see you guys next time.